Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series, Cobra Trench Viper, and Cobra Modular Fortification. I am Adam. This is Open Late. And this is one that's, I mean, not that late. I mean, I guess this is a relatively recent release in the Classified Series. One that I was pretty excited about. I am a big fan of playsets. I am a big fan of Lego. And to me, this felt like kind of a sort of crossing of those two, a divergence of those two things. Because the moment that I saw these, I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to be, modular in a way where you can sort of connect more than one of them. Initially, I think the images didn't necessarily reflect that modularity, didn't really necessarily reflect the fact that you could put these together and combine them and sort of not alter them, but kind of use the pieces as building blocks for sort of something more, something bigger, something more complex. But as more of the marketing pictures and things like that came out, the more they started showing that these were in fact modular, that these would connect to other fortification. I mean, it's right in the name, Cobra Modular Fortification, but still, you don't always know that it's going to work that way until you kind of see it in person, until you sort of see how they connect and where they connect and sort of how that works. um and so I was a little, I didn't go crazy with these. Admittedly, I did buy three, and I have opened two already, just to sort of play around with them a little bit, sort of see how they fit together, just to give myself a little bit of an idea of what might be possible with these if you had 30 of them. Um, of course, I only have three, but part of me wishes that I had gotten a few more of them. The only reason that I didn't, I'll be perfectly honest, is that they came with a figure. And I think if they had done, just the modular part without a figure, or given us the option of getting it sort of with a figure or without, I probably would have gotten two or three with the figure, but then I probably would have gotten two or three without the figure as well to sort of add to that. Um, Now, they are doing a Joe version of this. So this is the Cobra modular fortification, but there is, of course, a G.I. Joe version of this that is, I think, currently up on Hasbro Pulse, currently available. It might be Fan Channel. I can't remember. So you might be able to get it from sort of your favorite online retailer. I don't know. But having two of these open and sort of one more that I'm about to open, I can say that I probably didn't order enough of them. I think I ordered two of the Joe ones. I'm very seriously considering one or two more, and then we'll kind of see from there. Um, but you know, generally speaking, my first impressions of the Cobra modular fortification is that it's really cool and really fun, and I think has a lot of potential. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at this box. Nothing crazy here. I mean, the sort of more deluxe stuff in the vehicles and the small vehicles, the what else? The sort of deluxe packs and things like that seemingly have all come in similar boxes to this. So you get, and this is, in a lot of ways, it's sort of reflective or reminiscent of the vintage stuff, where you got sort of the overall look of what you're getting in the box on the front, and then sort of a cutout for a figure. So you do get the Sentry, the Trench Viper is what they're calling it, but he does have on his well, we'll get there, but on his shoulder does say Sentry. So you get, the render of the outhouse right there, the render of the TARDIS, and then the sandbags, and then the figure on the front there. And then, you do get a render of two of these stacked on each other. So it just sort of shows you right on the front that these are modular, that they can be sort of combined to kind of create something a little bit bigger, a playset that's a little bit more complicated. Now, if you go on the Hasbro site, if you go on Hasbro Pulse, they've got very different configurations than I had sort of thought of. And you would need a lot of these sets to sort of display them in the way that Hasbro has in some of those pictures. But needless to say, one of these is fine, but more of them is definitely more fun. We also got the Rattler up there. My Rattler is still in the box. I had hoped to open it this past weekend, but I didn't get a chance. So I'm pretty keen to do that. And stay tuned if you want to see a Rattler video. Stay tuned, because I will be opening it at some point. I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the Dragonfly. I'll do sort of a raw unboxing for channel members, and then I will have the edited version just out a little bit later once I have the time to actually edit it. More Rattlers over here as well, which is pretty cool. I'm excited about the Rattler. I just haven't had time. I haven't had time to unbox it. Anyway, that is the front of the box. As I said, nice big cutout for the Trench Viper there. You get the sort of blue digital version on the side there. 151 is the number for this guy. There's his what are these called? I don't know. QR code that leads somewhere. Where? I don't know. I've never scanned one. On the back, we get the full contents of the box with a few highlights. The mask, the Alley Viper repaint mask highlighted there. This is the back of the shield. I know this because I opened one. I didn't know what this was initially, but it's the back of the Alley Viper shield right here. And then the inside of the Fortification right there. You get two pieces of ladder, which to me is overkill, and I'll get there when I get there. Two of these little guys, which again, I don't know. Maybe when I combine more of them, it'll make more sense. But you get a few things that you probably don't ever need to use, but you get them nonetheless. And then on the other side, we get sort of the full side panel of art for the Trench Viper. And as I said, it's number 151 for anybody that's keeping track, anybody that cares anymore at this point. I think the numbering thing is funny, right? This is 151, but they've numbered things that are in HasLabs. They've numbered things that are convention exclusives. Like they've numbered multi-packs. So like some packs are one number, but they're three figures. Yeah, the numbering at this point, I don't know. It's yeah. I guess there's probably somebody out there that's a G.I. Joe classified completist. And I respect that. I'm glad I'm not doing it. Anyway, let's get this out of the box, shall we? I already cut the tape, but didn't open the box. So, just to speed the process up ever so slightly. We get the figure in a plastic tray. We get the foot locker with the accessories. And then we get the rest of it just in the box here. Most of the wall panels are stacked here. Then you get the sandbags and then the ladder pieces. I need my scissors for this, of course. The ladder pieces. As I said, you get two of these, which is great. But well, I'll sort of show you in a minute. You don't need two of these. You absolutely don't need 2 of these. Even if you're doing a bunch of them and you're going to stack them or whatever, one is enough because one covers the height of each, each set. So having 2 ladders per set is redundant. Now, having extra ladders isn't bad. I can use them for, dios that I can build myself. The extra pieces aren't something that I'm angry with Hasbro that they're giving us, but it's absolutely not necessary for anybody that has one of these, for anybody that has multiple of these, but is just going to use those ladder pieces for these sets. It's a redundant item. So anyway. Oh, come on. Let me get this thing out of the box. Oh, I didn't unstick the back. Of course, duh. I used the knife to cut the one piece, but not the other piece. All right, now we should be in business. Should be. Probably aren't. There we go. I'm gonna get all the pieces out, and then I'll sort of show all the pieces, and then put them all together. Now there is instructions. I unboxed the Cobra claw the other day, and there weren't instructions, or at least I didn't see them. Maybe there are. I just didn't open my second one yet. But there are instructions with this, which is nice, but also it doesn't cover all the pieces that we get. More on that when I get to the pieces they don't cover. Actually, I'm gonna get him out of the card 2 first, and then I'll have everything out, and all the noise will be done, and then I will put it all together. All right, there is the Trench Viper. I would say kind of like the least exciting part of this set is probably the figure, although it is kind of growing on me a little bit. I am kind of digging this deco. I am kind of into the sort of digital Twilight camo look that this guy's got. I think I might have, with the 3 that I've got, I may have enough to have like a little, like Twilight Midnight Squadron, kind of elite alley vipers or something like that. I don't know. They're cool though. I like the alley viper. I love the alley viper, I should say. My feelings about the alley viper are well documented. Probably one of my favorite army builders in the vintage line, and one that I bought a whole bunch of in classified. I know that the bright orange deco of the vintage inspired version isn't for everybody, but it's very much for me. I love that deco. Loved it as a kid, still love it now. So there he gets his shield as well to go along with the figure. Let's take a look at the figure, actually. Why not? So you get a really, really cool deco on this guy. Like I said, at first I was sort of like, I'm buying it for the modular playset. And then I was sort of, I was definitely in the camp that sort of thought, well, do I really need, a figure to come with the playset? I'd rather just get the playset. But this guy's pretty cool. I mean, the deco is good. That, as I said, that sort of dark digital urban camo is a good look. I think this looks good, and I feel like this plays really well into Cobra colors: the dark navy, the red, the black, the gray. This is definitely more on brand for Cobra than the standard Alley Viper, the neon orange and electric blue. So this guy is great, and I think, as I said, having three of them, I can have sort of a little squad. In my mind, three kind of makes a squad. So, yeah, cool figure. You get some of the digital camo on the shield as well, and on the back you get little readouts. So it's more than just a shield. There's some tactical stuff going on there. What I didn't realize at first, but it's definitely there, and I don't know that it's anywhere else in the whole sort of thing, but there's like a really dark purple, dark blue, kind of steel graphite-y kind of color to the Cobra on the shield, which doesn't translate very well anywhere, but it looks fantastic. In person, it looks really, really good. So that's the shield. Let's see what else. What else? What are we gonna look at next? Let's take a look at some of the stuff that it comes with. Like I said, you get these ladders, and these ladders are the height of the building itself, and you can get two of them stacked. They come with these little pegs. So there's these little pegs, which you get four of. And again, as I said, overkill, because you don't need four to connect two ladders. And if you have multiple sets, you have four per set. And then, you have exponentially too many if you do connect them. I do have a small gripe. When you connect these ladders, there's a huge gap in between the top of the first ladder and the bottom of the second ladder, which is if these are being attached to the buildings themselves, you'll clip the building on right there. So they could kind of use the roof of the building as a step and then step on the next one, but still it seems odd. I mean, they could have just put one more rung on the ladder. That's all it needs. One on the bottom or one on the top. Take your pick. It would have sort of filled that gap. The other interesting thing, and I noticed this, is that the sort of foot, the steps, I guess, for the ladder have an angle to them. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to sort of show this, but there's a flat spot, and for this to be flat, the ladder would have to be at an angle. You'll have to take my word for it, because I don't think it's going to really show on camera. But the ladders are designed to stand upright and clip onto the walls, and I'll show you that once I have a wall built. But we get sandbags. So this is a little, I mean, it's three-dimensional, but it feels a little two-dimensional to me. It would have been nice to have a bit of an L shape to it, or something. But a little bit of deco on here. There's a little bit of wash, so you can get sort of different colors on there. So it's not just a straight plastic piece. It is hollow, but you do get good texture on there and some good deco with a little bit of paint. So I'm going to put that sort of over to the side there, and the ladder will go right there for now. Let's take a look at the wall pieces, but before that, let me just, I'm out of practice. I gotta say hello to the chat. Gabrielle is here. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Indeed, Thanos Copter is here as well. He says, when are they going to start renumbering like comics? Yeah, Legacy. like just have legacy numbers, and every GI Joe figure that you buy will have a legacy number as well as the current number. And if somebody else starts making them, they'll start back at 1 or something. And No Chewing is here as well. Good to have you, buddy. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am out of practice. I didn't announce this in time to really have anybody pay attention, but really wanted to open this on video. So, maybe a couple more people will tune in, but maybe not. Good to have you guys here. Thank you for hanging out on a Wednesday night with me while I open toys. All right. The walls, the panels, tons of texture, a little bit of paint apps. There's, it is blue plastic, and on the inside, you can very much see that it's plastic. You can see sort of all the mold spots. There's no deco. There's no paint on the inside at all, which is okay. The fact that they did what they did on the outside is probably enough. Most people, the outside is probably more important than the inside. I just noticed something that I don't know that I'm going to be able to check. There are tiny little holes in the outside, and I think these might fit the blast effects that go in the ends of the weapons, the pistols. So you might be able to get like a little kind of like a what am I trying to say? Like a bullet hitting this and sort of pinging off. You might get sort of a little. You might be able to sort of put one of those on there. I don't know what that's called. A ricochet, like the ricochet effect kind of thing. There's a little bit of paint on the buckles, the rivets. There's some silver paint on there. I think there is the subtlest, and now I don't know, and maybe it's just an optical illusion. Maybe I just imagined it. Maybe it's just lighting in my office here. But to me, it feels like there's a little bit of detail paintwork on the edge of some of these, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's just light. I don't think there's any paint. Maybe it's just good sculpting and very clever use of the fact that light catches edges of things. I thought there was paint. Maybe there isn't. Anyway, there is a little bit of paint on here. That's definitely silver paint. That is sort of the front wall. You get 2 side panels. You get 2 wall panels. They are virtually the same. I think they're essentially just mirrored. Again, they've got a bunch of these little holes in them, which I didn't notice because I didn't have a super bright light on them. One of them gets the Cobra logo. The other one doesn't. Again, the silver paint app around the little bracket there. And then both of them say Cobra issue ballistic wall, which you can see right there. And then on the inside, these actually get a little bit of deco as well. It says attention modular wall on both of them. And as I said, they are the same. They are the same wall, just mirrored. Are they mirrored? No, they're not mirrored. Okay, I just realized they are not mirrored. They are asymmetrical, but what they are is they basically took the same panel and flipped one. So the holes on one kind of don't line up to the other one. The graphics that are tampoed on here don't line up, but they do if you flip them. So they've just flipped one. No, now I'm not even sure about that because just the way some of the imprints, maybe they're different. Maybe they are just mirrored. Yeah, I think it's just mirrored. I thought if I rotated it, the dots would line up, the little holes would line up, but they don't. So it is in fact just mirrored. Okay, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't make a difference. I didn't notice before, and it probably doesn't really affect it too much. Then, of course, we get a top and a bottom, which look virtually the same. The only difference is that the bottom, or the panel that is the bottom, has the pegs on both sides, so the pegs plug into the wall pieces. So if you are stacking them, you need to put a bottom on the top, if that makes sense. Whereas your roof panel is a little bit different. So the roof panel has these 2 ports where you can plug in accessories, which we will get to momentarily. We also get this sort of weapon rack wall piece. Now this will mount on either wall piece. There are 2 ports on here, and those ports line up with these ports here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Maybe, yeah, there you go. So that you can, load weapons on one of the walls of your modular. What do they call it? Whatever it's called. Modular fortification. That's what it's called. Okay, so let me build this, and then I'll show some of the accessories and sort of how they port in. As I said, there are holes on the wall panels. Those plug in to the little pegs that are on the base. Before I do that, I am going to snap these together, and they are super, super simple to go together. They just have, an upper and a lower where they connect. And then on this one, again, same thing. Upper and lower connect together. Now, very much easier to do this before you put them on the base, as I learned after I put one on and then didn't put the other one on. And so there you go. You get your little, outhouse TARDIS type of thing. Wall panel on the side there. The roof panel, as I said, doesn't have the pegs on the top side. It does have the pegs on the bottom side. So that just plugs right on top there. And for the price, I think you get a decent little modular fortification here. Let me angle that a little bit. There we go. I think it looks really, really good. Now, whoa. Okay, that's not the angle that I wanted. Now this is... All right, there we go. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's a good little kind of play set. Now, alone, I feel bad for anybody that bought one of these, because alone it's okay. But together with multiples, I think is really where this thing shines. Which I'll get to in a minute. Like I said, I have 3. So I will just quickly go over some of the other accessories that it comes with, and then sort of show you why I bought 3. So first things first, we get this machine gun. I'm sure there's a name for this, M60 or M80 or M something. I don't know it. I'm just guessing. Feel free to let me know what this is called. Or don't. Just ignore me. I don't know anything about firearms. This has a Cobra tampo on the side. I also realized when I was looking at some of the marketing pictures for this that this splits into 2 pieces with the sort of extended barrel coming off. I don't really want to take it off. But I got 3, so why not? Okay, so that's got a little mushroom peg, and that's just gonna, plug right in to this one. 2 out of the 3 that I've got, this is a little bit bent. So it's kind of nice that this comes off, because I can straighten that out, no problem, with a little bit of heat. Now, that is going to mount on these little sort of pedestal things. And you get 2 of these, and the 2 of these are 3 pieces. So you get the top part, and then the base. So there's a female side and a male side for this. This is quite clever, actually. So I will show this in a little bit of detail. There are these little recessions in the base, and then these little bumps, these little nodules on the part that sort of goes inside. And so that allows you to kind of lock this into multiple positions. And because this is going to support the weight, theoretically, if you are so inclined to put, the machine gun or something else on top of this, it's good because it does lock into place pretty well. It's quite stiff. You can sort of get it. Oh, I don't know if that's supposed to come off or not, but that did. But yeah, you can extend it, you can shorten it. You get two of these, and as I said, I kind of understand why you get two, but I don't necessarily know that you need to. The two of them sort of come with only one top that will allow for this to be sort of installed. Actually, I'm going to put it on taller of the two in this case. And then you get, as in this sort of pile of accessories, you also get this little clip that will mount on the bottom that will allow this weapon to mount onto the base. The interesting thing is that it already has the ability, like there's a hole there that would allow you to put this onto a peg, but the peg has to go into this, so you have to add this additional piece to get the peg. Now it does now give you sort of the ability to pivot this and rotate it. So I guess the original design for this thing was I think for roadblock or something like that. So I think it sort of went the other way. So they've kind of found a clever way around, reusing this, which I'm not complaining about. And then you get two options for the handle. You get sort of the mounted handle where you can get two hands on there, or you get the handheld version. Both of them will plug into the back just as well as the other. And in this case, because I'm going to mount this one, I'm going to mount all three of the ones that that's upside down. There is a right side up and an upside down to these. So put it on the right way if you want it to look better and fit better. There is also a ammo belt, bullet belt strap thing that goes with this, and that will just slide right inside as such. And I feel like I put that the wrong way now. Switch this up. And then, as I mentioned, there's sort of holes on the top to port these into. So you get a floodlight, a searchlight, as well as a radar transmitter, antenna, receiver. I don't know. I'm not a radar technician. I don't know if this transmits or receives, or both, maybe. And these can just plug onto the top like so. Now, I mentioned that you get 4 of these little plugs. So 2 I already put into the ladder there. But additionally, and this is important, and they don't show anywhere in the instructions how these work, but there are a few other pieces, and you get multiples of these pieces. And I'll sort of put the extras, out here, just to show, what we're looking at here. But there's a little cap. So if you want to sort of put one of the walls up and just cap it and not have it sort of connect to anything, you can do that. You get 4 of those. You get 2 of these pieces. Now, these allow you to connect the 2 side panels to each other because they have sort of the C-clip side rather than the bar side. So if you want to connect the 2 C-clip sides to each other, you have that option with this little clip here. And then if you wanted to connect 2 of the front panels that are the ones with the opening in the slot there, you could absolutely do that. Now, they have a bar on the top and the bottom, but you have the option to use this to sort of connect two of those panels. So they've given you the option of connecting the panels sort of in whichever way you want. Now, let me show you what it kind of looks like if you connect them a little differently than, just in this sort of outhouse configuration. Let me get this stuff out of the way. As I said, I have a couple other sets that I've already put together. So I put one together with just one wall, put the gun in there. I've got the weapons rack on the wall. Now this is, it doesn't sit very well. So it doesn't take weight because there's nothing supporting that right there. I put the other panel, I clipped the other panel on the side to sort of extend the wall out like that. But I think I'm going to try to find some sort of configuration where I can connect these a little bit better, a little bit different. Let me just pull back ever so slightly to get a little bit wider angle. I got a couple more sentries hiding to either side there. I've also got a bug in here that's flying around driving me crazy, but I'll just try to ignore him. Let's put this over there. I got more of these sandbags. The sandbags are kind of cool, but they're, like I said, I wish they had a little bit more detail. Okay, so here's a better view of connecting two side panels with this clip that you get as sort of an added bonus. But it does, like I said, it doesn't allow this to fit very well. And I've tried to figure out sort of a way to use one to support two, but you can't. And then as a result, it's also the case that, like, from the back, they don't. You kind of want to have some sort of. There should have been one more piece. This is my only gripe. I think there should have been one more piece that you could sort of just have a post, like a pillar, and maybe that pillar could sort of fit on two pegs, so one on either side. If you're going to replace this wall, it would be nice to have a what's it called, like an I-beam kind of thing that could sort of fill up this space and support this from below. But as it is now, if you don't use these, that's fine. You can sort of totally do it that way. I can connect this to this and sort of have them face in different directions, or have this one connect to this one. Maybe I'll do that. So just show you what I'm talking about. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take this one apart, actually, and kind of reconfigure it. Sort of show you what is possible. I have another one that is complete, so I'll use that one over here. Put that one over here. I'll take this one apart. How am I going to take this one apart? I'm going to take this. I'll take the whole thing off. It's just a base. And then I will snap these apart. Reconfigure this ever so slightly behind the scenes. I'll take that off. Don't need that part. So you can sort of fold that out to be just sort of a straight flat wall as well, which is what I'm going to do in this case. I'll just put this on here, like so. I needed a bigger space for this. This is what I did not foresee, is that I was going to run out of table space. But alas, here I am with no room to do this. So I'm just gonna move some things around, clear a little bit of space, hopefully, as much as I can. Move this over here as far as I can. Move this one over here as far as I can. I mean, that's the edge of the shot, I guess. Put this one back here. And then, as I said, and I won't do it, but you know, you could use these clips to connect that piece to that piece. But just sort of to give you an idea of sort of what you might do with this, you can just sort of see. You can create a wall, like you could do sort of a whole wall. You could fold them all out. I mean, you could have a panel like this, threefold, and sort of go beyond there. And then with the little adapters, you know, you can kind of connect. You could connect all the open panels together. You could go open panel, closed panel, open panel, closed panel, open panel, and then have, you know, the excess panels on the outside. Now, keep in mind, you can also go vertical with this. So what would that look like? Let's try that. I'm just going to put two of these next to each other. Change the roof on one of them. To the panel, as I said, that has the pegs. So this has the pegs top and bottom. So you're basically putting a base on the top, if that makes sense, to do this configuration. Those next to each other. It's going to look really awkward when it's right next to the other one. One, two, three bases. Okay, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, I can kind of still do it, actually. I'm gonna set it up almost like a cube. So this one will just sort of sit like that. That's weird. I don't like that. Here, let me see if I can get any wider. There we go. That's as wide as we can go. And you can see my beverage. And my screen. It's like Inception over here. There's me pointing at me, pointing at me, pointing at me. I'm gonna change this. I don't like that. It looks better like that. And then you can put the you know the top panel on there. Endless amounts of fun configuring these. You could also use this little connector to connect those two panels, I think. And I think that would look cool. I'm just trying to think of how you could configure it so that the wall, I don't know, there's kind of endless possibility. You can kind of do what you want once you've sort of got this in hand for yourself. These will fit, you know, on the base. It's sort of the base one, not the roof one, but the base one. There's a peg where this just pegs onto, which is fantastic. You can also use these little pegs. So these extra pegs that you get with the ladder, as I said, you get 4 of these, but these will also port into the holes on the top of the building, and so you can also put a machine gun on top. So you could have a gunner sort of standing up there. Let's do that because we can. And then adjust that for height, which I did with this one, which is why I did that with this one. So let me just pull that one off, put this one on, put a gunner behind it, exposed. You know, he's going to get taken out first. The other guy's hiding back here would be fine. But yeah, you got radar, you got the searchlight, you got the machine gun, you get another one down here, you could have another one externally. You could do what you want. I mean, that's the beauty of this. This thing is like it's just fun. You could also just go 3 high. If you had 3 of these, you could just stack them up, take that ladder, clip it on, and sort of do your thing, do what you want. I'm in my brain, I'm sort of going through different configurations for how I think I might set these up, or connect these a little bit differently. But as I said, modular sets, man. I think modular play sets are the way to go. Modular play sets, I think, are the way of the future. I want to see more of them. I want to see more modular play sets. Excuse me. Not just for Joe, but for some other things. I got 3 of these. I think I need more of the GI Joe ones, but I want to see more. Anyways, that is the Trench Viper and Cobra modular. What do they call it? Fortification. Cobra modular fortification. And Thanos says, "Yeah, me too. It's a great idea." It's just practical too, right? Like, you don't, if you only got one of these, you've still got options. Like, you could still do it, TARDIS style. You can have the 3 walls sort of just flat. You can have a version somewhere in between, 2 walls and then 1 wall out. You can have people on top. You can just have it be an enclosed space. You can do whatever you want. Not whatever you want, but you get the idea. Anyways, that is the Cobra modular fortification. They're great. If you can get one, if you can still find one, I would say it's probably worth it. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of digging to see if I can get maybe 1 or 2 more, because this is super fun. And then, like I said, I'm very excited for the GI Joe one, and may need to adjust how many I pick up now that I have this thing in hand, and have a better idea of how it works, and what the possibilities are with it. Anyways, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys, and I love opening toys, and it's always more fun to open toys with friends. So thank you for joining me. If you're watching on the replay, please, give me the thumbs up, give me or the thumbs down. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you're out there in the world. Until next time, guys. Bye bye.